Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Hip Hop Babies.
Yes, sir, ski.
You know what it is. He's the host of the most, DeadLeigh. Got my boy Ray with me. Boom, boom, boom.
Acting a fool. What's up, y'all?
Man, we getting into another album review. We doing Trainspotting by Rome Streetz, produced by Conductor Williams, man. Hell of an album. How long, Ray, have you been listening to Rome Streetz, man?
I've been listening to him for a little bit before he got signed to Griselda. I heard he was making waves. So I did a little research on some of his past projects, and then of course he dropped "Kiss the Ring," his Griselda debut, which was a dope project. That was I wouldn't even say a sleeper because if you know hip hop, you knew about it, but it's one of those projects where there's a lot of deep cuts, just bangers on that. And he worked with Conductor on there for one of my favorite songs on there called Soldier Boy and stuff. So they've worked before. They've done little things before. So it was dope to get a full project to just listen to of them two figuring each other out like for a project, right? At least to me, I was excited for this. Really excited.
Yeah. I found out of him through Griselda, basically. So Kiss the Ring was my first project. That one was dope. A lot of people's album of the year, I feel like, in 2022. So Conductor's crazy. He's got some of the best loops in the game. He's got a crazy resume. He's working with Drake, making those weak ass disses last year. He's got some shit under his belt. So I don't know what I was expecting, but I got more than what I expected from this project, I would say.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't like super into it the first time I listened to it, just because I felt like a lot of the beats were like kind of plain. But by that I mean like the loops, it's a lot of loops, it's a lot of just samples you got to get into. There's nothing wrong with it. It just can be a certain type of way. I feel this way with Boldy sometimes. Boldy will have the loops and he'll be spitting, he's going crazy, but it's like I'm not really into it the first time, second time, because I'm not really hearing what you're saying until you get into what Roman's saying, and then you're like, okay, he's putting in work, he's putting in blood, sweat, and tears, like he says, like he's really doing the shit. So I feel like some of these beats, like the weird noises, just kind of like started to dig into my ear, just started to worm their way in. So it grew on me, How was it based on first listen compared to what you are at now?
First listen, like I said earlier, I was extremely excited for this project. So when it came out, I was instantly like, let me put it on. And I enjoyed it, but I was like, like this is interesting because some of the flips, some of the songs didn't go like I was expecting. I mean, Conductor has worked with a bunch of artists, but Across the Tracks was my favorite album last year. And you had songs like Permission, you had songs like Saint Juliana. The samples he went with Rome Streetz, and it makes sense because Rome Streetz is a different rapper. He's a little bit more gritty overall. I think Boldy is gritty, but he also knows how to make a jamming song, make a more like flowy song. Wow, Rome Streetz is just going at your head for the most part on all of these songs on this project, which I enjoy. But there's songs like Rule 4080 where he is going at you, but there's the slavery sample and like that concept of like, fighting for your name and don't get robbed. You are the product and never bowing down and fighting for your respect and for your money. And I thought that was a cool little way to put a track together on this album, right? And the video was tight too. So I kind of wanted more moments like that, but I'm extremely satisfied with what I got now as it's continued to grow on me like it's grown for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like he could be more consistent with the message. I mean, if you look at some of his other contemporaries, I'm not really trying to compare him too much. But he's bragging, he's showing what he's got. He's talking his shit, and he's going at your head, like you said. But then sometimes he gets a little bit conceptual with it, or he gets talking about his experience a little bit deeper, more about, like, the system and, like, shit that he deals with that. Like, I feel like that, like you're saying, is probably a more compelling narrative, but at the same time, you can't deny that he's spitting, bro. And these raps are hard. His delivery is crazy, and his voice just works so well on so many of these beats. I love 4080. I feel like that's a great one, but also I go to Electric Slide, 2-minute banger, bro. It's just like those instrumentations are crazy. It's so spacey, and then I feel like it just gives him the perfect canvas to start rhyming on.
Mm-hmm.
Masters at work, man. Conductor, bro. The little sounds that Conductor be doing, and you can tell what the sound's gonna be before you even. He plays the whole thing. He plays a half a second of a sound, and you like, I already know what he's playing. He's got references like that. So I enjoy it. I love it. It's only 33 minutes. You can crank a listen out on your way to work. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably get you motivated for your shift too.
For surely, man. I mean, don't get it twisted, man. I'm just giving a little feedback, a little criticism, because I enjoyed this combo a lot. I do think they could definitely make some more projects together. I love it when Conductor goes out of his way to make a project with a dope MC, especially when they're Griselda affiliated, obviously, because they know how to work with him really well. So, I'm saying this as a fan, as someone who, like I said, I was extremely excited. So I was thinking this project would be here, and I got here, which, hey, don't get it twisted. That's still really, really great, right? We got songs like Runny Nose. We're talking about noisy loops. It literally, the loop was just like a sound and he was just ripping it. Ricky Bobby with Method Man. I love Wu-Tang. And Method Man, he's one of the front figures of that group. So it was dope to see him work with someone like Rome Streetz, someone who is a part of that East Coast gritty sound that they helped pioneer, right? And he's obviously showing love to someone who is in this lane and paving his way, which I think it's cool that Method Man is in touch like that. He obviously knows who's making waves in this lane.
It is dope, bro. And I just feel like if anybody's going to get a cosign from the older generation at this point, it's going to be Griselda. Anybody on Griselda, honestly. Because they're just giving that same kind of mentality, just like putting the pen to the notepad, releasing like crazy. We talk about Kiss the Ring. There's been like 5 other projects since then, before this one. So all these artists have been putting in the work, been putting in the time. And that's why we be talking about them, because they're so consistent, right? A lot of people, I feel like, think it's a negative to be dropping as much. I do see a lot of discourse, especially around Boldy James, about how, like, they're putting out too much. And it's like, you're not understanding that you have to make all these tracks first before you get the great ones, like, just because your favorite artist doesn't put out everything that he makes doesn't mean he's not making like hella music. And if you making that music, you might as well be putting it out. You might as well be making money off of it, right? While your name is still hot.
I mean, especially when you're dropping projects like this. It's just consistent. Heartbreaker was funny. Talk about a chick who's in love and he's just playing, she's over, head over heels for him. She's trying to do whatever it takes to keep him around, and he's just like, I'm playing, I'm having a little fun. Hopefully she's not taking me too seriously, because when it gets too much, I'm finna dip. I like that track. 10 Toes was probably my least favorite. It was the old school beat with the Jay Worthy feature, and Jay Worthy did a solid job. I just feel like that track didn't fit as much as the others. So maybe that's why they stuck to what they stuck to for most of the project, because that was them maybe trying to do something a little different, and it didn't hit as much as the others.
It was like a little stoner track, right? Like, he's riding, and then it's got like almost like a California type beat on there.
Old school.
Yeah, old school California. So I see what you mean. 10 Toes, maybe not the best, but I feel like they did that for Jay Worthy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like his choice, but more so that's kind of what Jay probably was vibing with, and they wanted him on there. So I thought it was cool. Definitely not the best track on there. I'm not putting it up there with the rest of them. So I like the little titles that he has, though. Ricky Bobby, fucking Joe Pesci. They're cool, man. I got no complaints, man. Just nothing but bars to your dome.
Mobster, mafioso rap, and he sounds like it's legit. Like, a big thing about Rome Streetz for me is that he doesn't go over the top. He keeps the wordplay focused. He's not saying some out of pocket stuff to like make you laugh. He stays locked in on what he's talking about, and he finds a way to make it all like work. I don't know. It's like when he gets locked in and he's talking about how he's making money or how he made it and these other people were hating on him and now he's above them. It's some of the best wordplay the way he does it. MASH early on, I mean, that's my highlight, probably my favorite track because he was just going off. Particularly the line, y'all trash ass niggas should make a group called Cesspool. Like, he always just lets people know, like, hey man, y'all ain't as real as me. Y'all are pretty much beneath me. And if you hating on me, you hating on me because even let's say my numbers aren't like your numbers, you know I'm better than you. And that's facts. He's better than a lot of these rappers who might sell more than him, who might, work with Conductor before, that have more of a, pool. But the reason why Conductor said, hey, I'm making a project with this guy is because he knows Rome Streetz can handle it. And he did.
He said, my shit pure cocaine, your shit K2. He's funny like that. He's, he got to go in on him. His white boy lights you up, Luka Doncic, It's not like over the top, like Saw Baby type shit, but he's still funny and he'll still, gotta roast you, man. It's
like New Yorkers when they talking shit. You know what I'm saying? It's that vibe. Another one, Connie's Revenge. I like how the beat was like going back and forth between how it started and then he had another part to it.
Bro, the flute on there, yeah, it was crazy.
The flute. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the flute at the beginning, and then it would change.
It was
and then it would go back.
In the middle, it was hella smooth. It was crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, I think they could have did more of those little moments. But overall, this is a great project. Easily recommend. It's its own little moment. And that's why we couldn't let this one go past without reviewing it. It was a special little project this year, for sure.
Yeah, it was special. And I mean, I feel like this album just gives like the vibes of like a smoke sesh or something, like it was just coming together, just trying to come up with something. It was dope. I'm just thinking back to like some of the other stuff that Roma has dropped or Conductor has dropped. I feel like a little bit more structured. This one's a little bit more loose. It's 33 minutes, it's got like that Kids See Ghosts type of vibe to it, you know what I'm saying? It's not trying too hard to be one thing, and that leaves a lot of room for interpretation and maybe some room for improvement, but also gives you a lot of good like raw ideas. All right, Brett, so my top three definitely got Rule 4080. I thought the Whips and Chains line was too good not to include. I also got Electric Slide. I felt like that beat was just so smooth. Definitely rolling up to that one. So I got that one. And then I feel like I really like Andre Agassi. I just like a really weird intro, and then it like flips into the beat. And, it's just him introducing himself, talking his shit. A really good tone setter for the album. What about you, bro?
Yeah.
What you got?
Hell yeah. For me, my number one is MASH, right after Andre, right? Killer. Yeah, that's probably my favorite track. Number two, Blood in His Boogers. Crazy track title, but I love the beat on that, and I also love the little weird Conductor ending, how it's like a instructional or like he's giving advice on like the trains. That was kind of like a weird moment at the end. And then my number three, I'm going to go Connie's Revenge. I like the beat changes and stuff like that. It was either that or Ricky Bobby. But I'm going to go Connie's for that. The track titles are just funny, little like references or something. It's a little culture-packed project, and I love it. You know what I'm saying?
This is culturally inappropriate.
Yes, it is. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a bit.
A wee bit.
But,
smidgen.
Yeah, man. Like, it can't be understated how much personality Conductor is able to put into a project just from the production side, and with those little snippets like you're talking about. It's special, man. It's special, It's 2016 Kyrie for real. Like, just doing it all, bro. Just doing it all.
When you need him the most, he shows up. Every time.
All right, man. But that was it for this episode. Thank y'all so much for checking out Hip Hop Babies. Thank you for tuning into this album review. Make sure you're going to go check out Trainspotting by the Conductor Williams and Rome Streetz. One of the better producer rapper collabs that we've seen this year. Couldn't pass it up. Make sure y'all stream that. If y'all watching on YouTube right now, like, comment, subscribe, keep the conversation going. Tell us what you thought about this album. Thank you so much to Ray, being an amazing co-host as always. And I'm going to pass it off to bro.
Shout out to DeadLeigh. You know what it is. Best co-host, host in the game. Whatever you need, he brings it to the table. We appreciate him as usual. Shout out to y'all for watching. Shout out to Streetz Conductor Williams. Everybody who worked on this project, the engineers, everything. Don't want to forget to say, sounds beautiful. Some people complain about the gritty sound sounding mastered a certain way. I don't, but if you do, this wasn't mastered bad. If you want to put it, sounded good, especially no matter what headphones, speakers I was using. Pristine. Appreciate the album. With that being said,
peace.
Peace.